This is Andrew with the Chosen Prime with a quick video review here of Leader Class Autobot Blaster from the new Titans Return line. You can see they've made this nice larger update of the original G1 character. He comes in this box here that's a standard size for most generations leaders and shows off his 3 different modes. You do get the figure, you get a collector's card, which you can kind of see hidden behind the bubble there. He gets one gun, and then he also gets this little kind of cassette slug piece, and I'll show off what it can be used for in a little bit. But let's go ahead and take a look at some details here for Blaster. Looking at some of the details here for Blaster, you can see that they've really done a good job here of making a new updated version of Blaster. He does have the visor that more homages the toy than the cartoon model, and it's mostly due to how they have this mask for the Headmaster kind of gimmick. He's got a standard tape deck with the kind of angled window. Overall, pretty clean. Not a whole lot of hollow parts. You get some nice on his legs here that are it's almost like a sparkly kind of plastic, as well as you get some nice paint detail. As far as articulation, his head can rotate 360. He can't really look up and down due to the mask gimmick without kind of pulling out the little Titan Master. His arms here are ratcheted. He does have a shoulder ratchet that goes side to side, bicep swivel, ratcheted elbow. His hands unfortunately cannot rotate, but they do fold in and they look nice. No waist articulation due to his transformation. Universal hips. If you move these little kind of skirts out of the way, they are ratcheted forward and back as well as to the side. Upper thigh swivel, ratcheted knee. His toes have a ball joint or a ankle tilt. With both the toe and kind of this extra heel spur too. That's mostly part of transformation, but you can actually have him have a bit of ankle tilt, which is kind of unique here for some of these figures. He does have his standard gun that matches the G1 style gun, and it just pegs in via standard peg here, hole in his hand. He does have the kind of working tape deck kind of area. By pressing this button here, it'll spring load open this panel here. And then you can fit in either the different kind of new data slugs like rewind and stripes, or this little piece that comes up with here. And this is more kind of a part for his base mode or weapon modes, where you can kind of either put a little Titan Master in there or just kind of plug it into other places. But it's just a matter of just kind of sliding in, and it just fits into the back of him, and it can stay in all his modes. Now that Blaster is a Titan Master, he has a interchangeable head. And if we lift on this mask here, we can reveal his individual Titan Master he comes with. This is twin cast, and he just pegs in, and you can see there's the standard kind of head peg right there that you can plug in any Titan Master. But specifically, twin cast here, if we just unfold the legs and rotate around his head, you can see that twin cast actually is his own little mini Blaster here in Titan Master form, with kind of a tape desk chest, the head that matches Blaster, as well as the little speaker legs. Like the other Titan Masters, their legs are just one solid piece with one pin across, but you can have them bend their knees or sit down. And then you can also take their arms, which are on basic ball joints, are limited, that you can rotate them up and then pull them out to the side a little bit. And then their heads are on ball joints as well, and they can look side to side as well as tilt. So you can either take twin cast here and plug it in, or if you want to, you can actually take any of the standalone Titan Master. If we take Terrible here, which is one of the individual Titan Masters, we can just go ahead and plug him into that spot and put the mask over. And now Terrible is the one commanding Blaster here. And it's a cool little gimmick. You can see that it's got 2 kind of face plates there, as well as underneath the visor. And any Titan Master can fit in that spot. But we'll go ahead and put twin cast back in there. And we will go ahead and transform Blaster here into a standard kind of tape deck mode. Transforming Blaster into his boombox mode is fairly straightforward but fun. So we want to lift up on his helmet here to show off the Titan Master. We want to lift up and remove him for now. Come to the back of his neck here, and there's a panel that opens up, which will let us hinge and hide his helmet. We can close that panel. Come to the arms, lift them up so that they're straight, and fold in the hands. Do that on both sides. You want to make sure that the elbow is kind of facing forward along with these kind of pegs. Lift up on these waist flaps for now. Come to his back. Flip up his toes on each side. The back of the legs here, they will unpeg and hinge out so they're flat like that. I'm going to do that on both sides. And if we look here, there's a kind of hinge mechanism that it connects into the leg here. You want to take it and unpeg it and then hinge it lower so that this piece is closer to the bottom of the robot. And then there's also a similar double hinge for the foot piece here. So I angle it up and kind of fit it into that spot. And do that on both sides. So hinge this closer into the down on the leg, and then double hinge in kind of the foot. Lift up the legs, bringing these pieces up. So you want to have the speaker parts of his legs facing down, and then you can fold this panel up. Make note of this little peg here, and it'll fit in here. And there are several pegs, tabs here, that'll hold this all together. And we need to sandwich it. We move down this waist flap. So again, just kind of lift up the leg. Make sure that this is facing downwards, and then fold this all up. Again, making sure that this piece there fits. And it's just a matter of kind of just making sure all these pegs fit across the front and the side. And there's also, as part of the arm here, this gray peg will peg into the arm. Take the handle and lift it up. Put down these panels again. And there is Blaster in his boombox mode. And again, he does have the working kind of spy tablet data slug feature here. It's quite a nice update here of Blaster. Again, you can see there's some nice big speakers here, as well as the kind of sparkly plastic. And it is overall pretty clean throughout. No real hollow gaps or specific parts showing. Nice little mode here. So we'll move on to his final mode, his base mode. Transferring Blaster into his base mode is fairly simple. So we just go ahead and open up this his chest here and pull out this little data slug. We'll be using it later. Come to these little clear parts here, pull this part back, and then push up from the bottom to push forward this little display here. That you can see there's some detail there, as like kind of like a scope. Come to the leg parts here, the speakers, and fold them fully down. And take this kind of piece here and fold it out. And you see there's some different detail here painted in the interior of the leg. It's actually that way on both sides. Here you can see that they actually have a little danger tampograph there, which is kind of cool. Come to the arms. We want to rotate them so that we see the yellow part, fold them up, bend to the elbow, and then fold down the little kind of arm cannons here like this. So again, rotate this arm 180, fold it up, bend to the elbow like 45 degrees, and fold down the gun. The feet will hinge outwards, and then there's that little flap that's on the back of each one. You want to fold it up, and it's got some little kind of like radar dish detail on each one of them. We can take the little part right here, and there are kind of two rails here that match top of this handle, and we can kind of mount the cannon there. We can take his weapon, and there's a peg hole in his kind of chest flap here that you can peg in the gun as kind of a gun emplacement. Additionally, you can actually peg it up to the top here. That's the nice thing about these figures, is you have options. And we can take Twin Cast here and get him in his robot mode, and he can actually sit on this little clear piece here, and he can kind of command the troops from behind this little window. Of course, you can take any of the other Titan Masters, and they have the little peg holes on the bottom of their feet that match the tiny little pegs kind of throughout the figure here. And you can have the different figures here kind of be manning this kind of overall battle station for Blaster. So it's pretty cool. Nice little feature here, I guess, with the decals and all the different stuff. And again, with these little panels on the side here, you can connect to Fortress Maximus, and check out a review to show off how that works. So it's pretty cool here for Blaster. So here we got Blaster next to some of his Legend scale tapes. This is Legend class Rewind, and we got Legend class Stripes. Stripes here is in his kind of data slug / spy tablet mode. And of course, Rewind can turn into this mode. Both of these figures are sold individually and separately in the Legends line, but they do interact with Blaster. So if we just open up the panel here, we can feed Stripes here into his chest. And so you can store one of these kind of spy tablets into him at any one time. And one other thing to show off, you can actually store Blaster's gun here via a hole on his back. But, you know, you can see that Blaster and Rewind look good side by side here. To give you an idea how large Blaster is here, here's Masterpiece Soundwave, and you can kind of see that they've actually kind of almost scaled this leader class Blaster here to be a Masterpiece updated Blaster. He could be a good kind of fit for your Masterpiece collection if you're looking for a Blaster to kind of pit against Soundwave here. Mind you, he does not have the overall kind of engineering and pieces and detail that a Masterpiece figure has, but he is a pretty good standalone, and silhouette-wise, he matches Masterpiece Soundwave here in his robot mode. And here they are in their boombox modes, and again, you can see that side by side they look kind of accurate to the same overall scale, where this Blaster can be a Masterpiece Blaster if you really wanted to have it as part of your collection, but it is just a really great leader class Blaster. Here's another quick robot mode comparison. Here's Voyager class Sentinel Prime and of course the leader class Blaster. You can see that there is a difference in the two scales here, with Blaster being a bit larger, but still I think within the right size to kind of fit as a character, and it is nice to see this range of scales in this Titans Return toy line. And then here's their alternate modes. Of course, Blaster doesn't have a normal alternate mode, but you can see size-wise how much bigger he is in his alternate mode than Sentinel Prime here. Some final thoughts here for Titans Return Leader Class Autobot Blaster. All of the Titans Return figures I've messed with so far have been pretty good, but my favorite by far here is Blaster. He's almost a return to form as far as a Generations or Classics level toy. He doesn't feel hollow anyway. The joints feel solid. He's got good ratchets. He feels just kind of solid and kind of heavy and beefy, and he's got, you know, a nice alt mode. He's got a lot of fun with the base mode. He can interact with little spy tablet tape guys, and just overall it's kind of a really excellent update to Blaster. I'm very, very pleased with this version of Blaster. The Chosen Prime expects to get our stock of the leaders as well as the tiny little Titan Masters sometime at the end of June, which is next week. If you'd like to get this guy, I highly recommend getting your pre-order in now because he's really, really great version of Blaster, so take care.